Hello and welcome to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the young French center-back Leny Yoro and the situation with him currently, as well as how he would fit within United and why personally I feel he would be far and away the best choice to sign to partner Lisandro Martinez and replace the outgoing Raphael Varane. Now, the situation as it stands presently is United are looking at signing a right center-back. They also want a left center-back, and the pursuit of Matthijs de Ligt and Gerard Braithwaite were separate, but the pursuits of Matthijs de Ligt and Leny Yoro are together. Point being, while they're pursuing and working on both deals at the same time, it's expected that they're only going to be able to sign one of these players. There are a couple of reasons for this. Number one is the fact that they both play on the same side, where United also have Harry Maguire capable of playing at the moment. The second reason for this is that because they need a left center-back still in order to back up Lisandro Martinez, and Gerard Braithwaite continues to be a top target, though probably out of reach this summer from a price perspective, they don't want to necessarily spend and commit all their budget to that right center-back position, leaving them without someone to play on the left besides Johnny Evans, should something happen with Lisandro Martinez, or if he just needs a rest, which he should get. That's the concern as of now. The other factor in this is how you sign and convince both of these players. A big factor in Matthijs de Ligt wanting to join Manchester United is to reunite with his former manager Erik ten Hag, and the promise of minutes and being the first team player, which is not his situation at Bayern at the moment, where he has not counted on as the main center-back and has been in and out of the team a bit over the time that he's been there. That is a huge draw for de Ligt in joining United, and that is one of the reasons that he would be heavily convinced to do so. Leny Yoro is being strongly pursued by Real Madrid, and it would be his preference. However, they have not been able to seal a deal and put up the money for him, and it is said at this point in time that he is open to a move to Manchester United, and I believe that to be the case as well, per my understanding. The information I had was that they were waiting on the de Ligt deal because it has been at the same stage for about a couple weeks and would be very easy to do, to see where things go with Leny Yoro and if they can convince him. He would also very likely want to be promised a starting position, which he does have at his current club. And if he were to leave to join United, he would not want to diminish his role, especially if he was choosing to join United over Real Madrid. So these two deals seem to be one or the other. And United's preference as a club has been for some time Leny Yoro, who is viewed in terms of the center-back position this summer as one of those can't miss opportunities. You have to be in the race for him. They've been watching him for some time, and for a long time Madrid had been putting things out into the world about hands off, he's coming to us, but they have yet to actually commit to that. And so United have been attentive in pushing the deal forward, and at this point in time it looks like it'll be them or Madrid. But let's talk about Leny Yoro and why I think he's a better fit overall, even at the young age of 18, which is a huge positive, than Matthijs de Ligt. When we compare de Ligt to Raphael Varane, which I did in a previous video, you can gather my concerns. De Ligt is a very good center-back, but when I look at this, what I find is that Matthijs de Ligt is very busy as a center-back. He's very aggressive. Raphael Varane often played as the cover or sort of sweeper behind Lisandro Martinez when they were partnered together, and it worked very well. So Raphael Varane was more focused on dropping in deep. You can see things like aerial duels contested. Raphael Varane was in the 6th percentile versus the 92nd for Matthijs de Ligt, but in the 97th percentile for aerial duel win percentage. He was just less busy overall. Even for possession adjusted, Raphael Varane was doing less than de Ligt, and that sometimes can be a good thing. Because one of the major concerns that I do have with the de Ligt and the partnership of him and Lisandro together is that they both tend to be fairly aggressive. When we look at this kind of comparison of where de Ligt was winning his tackles and winning the ball, he wins it very high. And the concern that I have with all of this is how that translate if the Ligt joins and plays with Lisandro Martinez. I'm not saying it wouldn't work, but essentially you'd have two center backs who are very aggressive, who like to step up and win the ball, versus a player who's usually where you have that partnership, which Varane and Sergio Ramos did, and Vidic and Rio Ferdinand did, and I've showed the examples in the past in that Ligt video, of one of them that's more dropping deep and back further, while one is stepping up, so you can cover on those counterattacks a bit more and defend space, something that Jarrod Braithwaite is very good at. When it comes to Leny Yoro, he looks a lot more like Rafael Varane in certain areas. When we look at his overall tackles attempted, you can see they're around the same areas up here on the top right. He's not as good a tackler as Rafael Varane in terms of win percentage, but he does intercept the ball more, and that simply means he's putting himself in the right position to cut out play. His clearances are quite a bit lower, but a big part of that was United doing a lot of box defending last year. At just 18 and with a young and fairly slender frame at this point in time, he is a good aerial defender, ranking in the 72nd percentile for aerial duel percentages, and I think that's a big factor when you're partnering Lisandro Martinez. He's a safe passer, high percentage passing, not very progressive in his passing overall, which is understandable, but does have a high percentage of completing long balls, so it's obviously he has the ability to place those balls from distance in his locker. Very involved in build-up. So stylistically, when you look at his aerial duels contested, it's also fairly low for center backs. So stylistically, when we compare them, the initial impression is that Leny Yoro plays a bit more like Rafael Varane. And I think in that way would make a big and solid, a better partner for Lisandro Martinez in terms of complementary profiles and squad dynamics. A player who is in many ways viewed as a potential young Varane regen and can do a lot of the same things as him. So I think having that concept of him covering behind Lisandro Martinez a bit more than stepping up would be ideal. When we look at his style from Smarter Scout as well, we get a lot of the same impressions, and I'll explain kind of how to read this. Don't worry about these duels on the right because it just means it doesn't have the data, but his aerial duels in open play are strong, and that means he's a good aerial defender from open play, and we need that. The number of 19 being low on the style just means he doesn't do it that much, and that's okay. That's more down to team than anything else. He has a high rating for receiving in the box, which means he probably is getting on the end of set pieces in the attacking area as well, another strength that we would like to see. Dribbling, he's good, so he tends to carry the ball more. Pass towards goal is low, so he's not progressing it forward with the pass. We kind of know that. Link-up play is very high. Recover is very high, so that usually means he's the one picking the ball up on a tackle rather than necessarily being the challenger. And so from this, again, we get more impressions that he's a bit more like Rafael Varane. He's going to recycle the possession. He's going to move it around. He's going to be decent with the ball at his feet. He's going to pick up the balls from the more aggressive defenders and move it around, but he's also a good tall aerial defender with a high ball retention, 81 rating there. Low quantity, don't worry about the quality in these things, but it's a low quantity of defending as well. So he's doing less defending, and I think when you're partnering him with Lisandro Martinez, that's not a bad thing. There is a stylistic kind of match in this regard. Now, on Twitter, Jack Fawcett put together a kind of compilation of his duels. And I wanted to show just briefly some of this, not to talk about the quality of the player, but so you can see this style and the type of defender he is. You'll notice that the majority of his duels, he is moving backward, running away. And we see that a lot with these clips. So those are some of the major points. The other little thing I want to point out here is a big positive is as a young player at 18, he missed a single game with injury last year and has virtually no injury history. Now, of course, he's young, so he shouldn't have a big injury history, but at the same time, many players often do pick up major injuries, and not major, but a lot of little muscle injuries, a lot of numbers of muscle injuries when they are younger, and the fact that he seems pretty healthy and robust is a good thing. So in that respect, there's a little bit less risk there. And at only 18 years old, really, Leny Yoro could become one of the best center backs in Europe. And so I think that hopefully this gave some information, is the way I see it, in terms of what type of player Leny Yoro is, and stylistically how he could fit at United. Personally, I think he's at 18, with already playing senior football at a high level, being chased by Real Madrid, etc. If they can get him, it would be the best center-back signing we could make this summer, and the exact type of player that United should be in the race for. And I think a perfect partner for Lisandro Martinez for the years to come, and the type of a cover or sweeper center-back that many, many great clubs have had. Someone that can become, the backbone of your defense, and save you from all of those chances in transition, and really slow down the attack. So that's my views on Leny Yoro. We're going to have to see in the next few days how this decision comes through, if United's sort of growing optimism on the deal happening is well placed, and if we can get something done. Otherwise, the Matthijs de Ligt deal, obviously a good player, one that knows Ten Hag and one that would play a lot, is there to be done as well, and United will make a move for that. And then we will see beyond there what they do in terms of a second center back, if they go for a left center back, if they move Lindelof on, if they find some young player besides Braithwaite that Vivell can identify or bring to the forefront for them to sign to play behind Lisandro Martinez. But promising news and a promising player in Leny Yoro. So we'll have to see what happens after this. Thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications on. See you in the next one.